Oh my gosh, I actually felt a bit of anxiety clicking the go live button today. I don't know why. I feel like I'm just feeling a bit scattered, as I've said before. So I was a bit hesitant, going, can I do this today? Maybe I should just say that I don't feel up to it or I'm not feeling good. But now that I'm here, I'm okay. Now that I'm here, I feel better. And once people start checking in, I will be able to breathe. So I know this is a little bit of a shakeup from our normal Sunday time, but I just wanted to make sure that people had the opportunity to be either with their dads on Father's Day or able to honor their dads on Father's Day. I just didn't want to intrude on a family holiday. So I moved it to Saturday this week. So for everyone that's new that's watching this, I'm Amanda, and this is just an opportunity to check in with our mental health, talk about where we're at, our wins, our struggles. Just as a reminder, I'm not a mental health professional yet. So any advice I give is just based on my experiences and the experiences of people that I interact with. With that being said, I welcome questions. I welcome conversation. I feel like I'm kind of losing my voice. I have no idea why. So if I sound a little funny, I've thought that I was sounding funny in the past couple of days too. I don't know what that's about. So where is everybody? Where is everybody? I'm not seeing any messages yet, but I see some people in here. So I'm just wondering if I can see you. Okay, there we go. Matthew, Rev Rats Rides, hello. Rev Rats Rides says, glad I could finally catch your live. I'm glad you're here. David says almost to 70K subs. I think we will hit 70K this month for sure, and I'm pretty excited about that. Matthew says, hello, I'm currently in a financial hole. That seems to be the theme of a lot of people. We're struggling financially. The economy is a mess. It's very difficult right now. So I very much empathize with you. Donald is happy to be here. Hey, Sam. Hey, Tina and Rick. Sam says, good timing. I just got back home from seeing Inside Out 2. Good film. I didn't realize that was out, but I really want to see it. So I will maybe go check that out with my son this week. That could be a fun little outing. And we have a theater close to us that does $5 Tuesdays. So thanks for that tip. I'm going to go check it out this week, and I will report back next time and let you know what I think. I thought about doing movie reviews and stuff, as well as the reactions to different movies pertaining to mental health. So maybe that could be something that I add to the channel, because I'm looking to just diversify a little bit, because I like having options and I like just shifting up the content, because I feel like if I do the same thing all the time, I'm going crazy. So we do have the goal of $250 in pledges. So if you use the super chat or super sticker function, or you pledge through PayPal. So if you're going to do a bigger one, my PayPal is in the descriptions of the streams. All of that goes to my mental health outreach. So we're able to do things here in the community. I'm so excited about this one. I've really been wanting to share this one. So there was someone that I had been communicating with who they also lost their parents. They're also an only child, and they were also in a town where they didn't really have any friends or anything. And I just thought, oh, wow, this sounds really familiar, because when my mom passed away, I was in Sacramento. I was in a new town. So I was just, oh, wow, this is really speaking to me. This seems really familiar. And they were just really, really struggling. And come to find out, they had lost their dog about 4 months earlier. And they were really struggling because they couldn't really afford to barely pay their bills with the job they had. And they just really wanted a companion in this new area. So I was able to help them not only get a rescue dog, but have that dog registered as an emotional support animal. So I helped get them through the process of getting the dog registered as an emotional support animal. I'm going to post a picture. I asked them to send a picture. It didn't get here in time, but I'm going to post the picture once they send it over on the community page, so you guys can see this adorable little dog. Oh my gosh, it's just so sweet. It just made me think of Wendy with Scotty. So for those of you that don't know, I had befriended a man who at the time that I met him was homeless. We became friends for a really long time, and he ended up adopting two dogs that I was fostering, and I paid the fees and everything for them. This was way before the channel started. And he passed away last year, and one of them was still alive, and I took her in. So now I have a Wendy. But I was just so excited for that, because I thought, well, we helped the dog and the person. So we helped the doggy's mental health and the person's mental health. So that's where your pledges went in these last 2 weeks. I was very excited to share that. So like I said, I'll post that over in the community on the community page, the same place where I post the wins. But that's the sort of thing that the pledges go to. So if you use the super chat, super sticker, or PayPal, that's the sort of thing that the pledges go to. Sam says, I can't wait to see him. Really, I just, oh my gosh, I had already saw video because they not live streaming, but they, what do you call it? With the video, like video called me, so I saw them with the pup, and it was very exciting. Yes, David, I did open my email for notifications. Thank you for the reminder. Will says the world needs more women like you. Well, I'm trying to inspire women to move in the right direction. Like with that Dear Women video I made, I just kind of had to do that for you guys. I've learned a lot through my outreach. I've learned a lot through the channel and the comments, and even the videos that have more aggressive comments, and you'll find out soon which one I'm talking about. I still learn something. And while some of it does kind of stress me out sometimes, depending on where I'm at, I still learn something. And I'm very appreciative for being able to learn, because it helps me tailor my outreach. It helps me tailor my message. So Donald is saying, day 167, no alcohol. Big snaps to you. And Tina says, nice, Donald. I'm also sober, so big snaps for the sobriety and recovery. That was going to be my win this week, was I actually just hit 6 years for my recovery. So I'm going to give myself snaps too. I was going to post a video, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take the day and enjoy the day. So kind of just relaxed a bit. Did a little bit of work, because that's me, but I tried to relax as much as possible. So yeah, big snaps to that. Spooky says, can you give my kid Jeremiah a shout out? Hi, Jeremiah. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here in the community. David says, failure is still an opportunity to learn and grow. And it's not even always about failure. It's just about learning about different people's experiences and perspectives. Like I said, when I first clicked to go live here, I was just feeling really bad anxiety. I do this all the time, where it's, oh my gosh, should I do this? Like, do I have anything of value to say today? Do I have anything of value to share? And then I get on here and I'm going, in the end, you're being so ridiculous. Of course you do. Of course you could talk about the puppy, and you could talk about the wins, and we'll share our good news story. And my vibes just go up. And that's why I thought that, a stream was a good idea, because we can all just raise each other's vibes a little. We can all just add to that positive energy, just be there. Sometimes just the energy makes all the difference, the energy of having someone else there. Donald says, my father passed when I was 9. Father's Day has always been a tough thing. Time in my own family has made it better. I miss that man every day. Sad I never really got to know him. I can't imagine. I was 20 when my dad passed away. And if I'm being honest, I don't care much for Father's Day. My mom passed away when I was 22, so I don't really care for Mother's Day either. And it can be very difficult. I try to take it as an opportunity to do something to honor him, just like his birthday and the anniversary of his passing. But for some reason, Mother's Day and Father's Day to me is just particularly kind of a thorn in my foot. And I've realized lately, tell me if you guys can relate to this. This is just an observation I've had about myself. As an adult, I find it really difficult to celebrate holidays. And I feel like part of that is because time passes so fast, or it seems to pass so fast. Of course, it's passing exactly the same, but it seems to pass so much faster as an adult that I feel like every other day is something I have to buy a gift for, or plan, or do. And it really is a lot on my shoulders, because I used to be, oh, cool, we get to have Christmas, we get to decorate, I get to get presents for people, and I'm going to get presents. And one of my love languages is gifts, like gifts and acts of service. So presents to me is a big way of expressing love, both that I can express to other people and that I feel love in that way. So I just feel like these days it's, oh, yay, here's Christmas again. Oh, yay, here's Valentine's Day. Oh, yay, here's my birthday. It just doesn't seem to have that excitement. It seems to be stressful. And I feel sometimes guilty because I go, okay, well, if somebody bought me a Christmas present and I didn't get them one, then I'm going to feel guilty. So they really, I just kind of freak out because I feel like, oh my gosh, now the present has come with guilt and I feel horrible. Does anyone else feel like that? Is it just me? Let's see. Rick says, me too. Amy says, definitely. My dislike for holidays really started with the passing of my grandmother. Yeah, mine started with mine started in my late teens when I started to have more traumatic things happen to me, like the sexual assault and the abandonment started happening, things like that with people, is when it kind of started trickling in. But after my parents passed away, I just don't enjoy these days anymore. And I've been trying to shift my perspective of that. But I think there's just a part of it of saying, you know what, it's okay. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like these days. I don't even really have to celebrate these days. And I feel like once Bryson, my son, once he reaches that age that he doesn't really want to celebrate Christmas, I think I might do small gift exchanges, but I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just was curious if I was the only one that was feeling that. Erin says, my gift is to tell you that you don't need to get me a gift, right? But still, even if you said that, and I know you would mean it, I still would feel obligated to do it because, like I said, it's my love language. It's my way of expressing love. So I feel like I would still have to, I feel like I would still need to. It just doesn't have the same charm that it did when I was younger. New Destroyer says, the hardest days of the year for me are July 20th, the day my grandmother passed, and December 1st, her birthday. I can totally understand why those days would be really difficult. July 20th is also the anniversary of Chester's passing, so that is not a super great day for me either. David says, remember the joy you feel when you do stuff or give gifts to others. Let them feel joy and do something for you. See, I try to focus on, the feeling of other people. I just try to focus on their reaction, because I live for that. I really, really like that. It's just seeing other people light up. I mean, I like getting gifts too, don't get me wrong, but I just like seeing other people get excited. I struggle with the trauma-versaries or the loss-aversaries or things like that as well. Like I said, I try really hard when the anniversary of my parents' passing comes around to honor them, do something in their memory. But sometimes I'm not there and I feel like I just want to cry all day, and that's okay too. The first few years were the hardest. It's definitely gotten easier, but there's still some years where I go, this sucks. And this year was one of those for both my parents because I was just going, there is too much on my shoulders right now, and I miss them. I wish they were here. It's been since 2005 and 2007, and I'm still just really feeling that emptiness. I don't think I've ever really talked openly about this, at least not here on the channel. I've talked to my close friends about it, but I feel like when my mom passed away, my life kind of separated itself into the before time and the after time. And I feel like it's just become this, well, that's how things used to be. And of course, I wish that I could feel some of those things again. And we just can't feel those things again. And I know that I'll never feel quite as safe, quite as carefree, quite as, I don't want to say liberated, but I just feel like I felt so free with my mom, and I've never found that. I don't feel secure anymore because I feel like friendships, relationships, they don't have that same sense of security, Rev saying my hardest day is 12/20 when my son was murdered. Oh, I can't even imagine. I don't know how I would live with that. I feel like I would just go John Wick, and the only comfort I could find would be to just go crazy. Actually, so I was doing an internship that turned into a part-time paid position. So I am doing victim advocacy work for family members of those who have lost a loved one to homicide or who have a loved one who's a missing person. So I would actually love to speak with you about your experience with the system, if you're okay with that at some point. If you want to email me, my email is in the video descriptions. It would really mean a lot to me if we could talk a little bit about that, because I'm really trying to understand those experiences from people more, because I'm really losing my voice and I don't know why. I'm sorry. But obviously I've never had that experience, and I want to understand better so that I know how to serve people who are in that unfortunate nightmare. So if you wouldn't mind dropping me an email, I'd love to speak to you more about your experience if and when you are ready. And I think in some way maybe that can help, because it can help, other people that are going through it. We can help them feel more supported and feel like they're getting what they need. David says, I found myself trying to recapture my childhood last Christmas. I made gingerbread cookies with my grandmother's recipe. I love that. I want to make gingerbread cookies. Let's make gingerbread cookies together this year, David, for Christmas. Yeah, I have not felt Christmas in a really long time. And I feel like the only thing I want for Christmas is the feeling I had as a kid on Christmas. There's just something so special about it. Mark Simonson says, hi, Amanda, just got in a live stream, long time since I've been able to get on. Welcome back. Drunk Man Gaming says, I lost my best friend of 40 years last year. I have no other people I can talk to. Well, we are here. We are here to talk to, be it by email, be it here in the stream, be it just through the content. You can message me on Instagram. Oh, we are definitely here. I can't imagine not either, because I haven't been alive for 40 years, but I can't even imagine losing my best friend. I think I'd go crazy. I was just talking to her this morning. We had a long conversation this morning, and both of us were just, oh my gosh, the universe needs to stop throwing things at us before we just wind up on a vacation. What did she say? A vacation with the sticky toes? Gosh, now I can't remember how she worded it, but basically in a padded room. Like, we're gonna wind up on vacation in a padded room if things keep happening. And then while I'm on the phone with her having this conversation about how we're just feeling like things keep hitting us, and we're feeling frustrated, and we're just trying to share and validate each other in our overwhelm, of this time period, this process we're having to go through. As this conversation is happening, I'm in the backyard letting my dog clients out and stuff, and there's an injured bird in the corner. And I go, okay. I thought maybe he was just scared by one of the dogs. Nope. Bird is injured, has a broken wing. I tried to call some, I guess, kind of rescue organizations, like wildlife rescue organizations, and either they weren't open or they couldn't come get him. Aaron ended up having to drive the bird, offered to drive the bird, because I was freaking out going, why can't the bird die? And I don't have time today to drive the bird. So I ended up saving the bird. We saved the bird. We rescued the bird. The bird is now safe at a facility, but it was just really, I was almost in tears, and I'm getting snippy, and Aaron and I felt bad, but I'm just going, we're literally sitting here talking about how we can't take anymore, and the universe just says, hey, you know what they need? An injured bird in their lap right now. But yes, we saved the bird. But don't try to get through things alone. There's lots of communities. There's lots of people that you can connect with. Loss is really tough. And there's nothing really that anyone can say to make it better. We can't bring your friend back, and we can't replace your friend, but we can try to talk to you about your friends. You can share memories with us, and we can keep them alive in that way. So I encourage you to share your favorite memories and talk about them so that they can be remembered here. David says, Aaron Butler's a superhero, almost type supper hero. What's he cooking for dinner tonight? We're actually having leftovers tonight, because last night was Alfredo night, which is one of my favorites. So we are having Alfredo, but I love that you said supper, because nobody says supper anymore. It's always dinner, and I still feel like I want to say supper. Oh no, David, no, don't start with the bird is the word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. Now that's going to be stuck in my head. No. No. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Oh, so I almost forgot to read the good news story. So I thought this was really awesome. It's kind of political, but in a good way, not polarizingly political. So I thought this was really cool. South Australia introduces world-leading bill to ban political donations from elections. I've been saying for ages that this needs to happen here in the US. Why is this not a thing? But I like that they're leading in this initiative. Premier says move will end the nexus between money and political power and challenges state and federal counterparts to follow suit. The South Australian Premier, Peter Malinauskas, has announced plans to ban political donations from state elections, paving the way for nation-leading electoral reforms. The state's electoral amendment bill, announced on Wednesday night, will ban electoral donations and gifts to registered political parties, members of parliament, and candidates. The state will provide funding to allow parties and candidates to contest elections, run campaigns, which I also kind of think should be banned, but that's beyond the point, and promote political ideas. Malinauskas said his bill would put South Australia on the cusp of becoming a world leader and ending the nexus between money and political power. We want money out of politics. We know this is not easy. These reforms may well face legal challenge, but we are determined to deliver them with this bill to be introduced in the parliament in the near future. In a subtle challenge to his federal and state counterparts, he told Guardian Australia he thought it was something that democracies everywhere should be pursuing. I've always said that, because I feel like it's not about who's the most qualified, it's about who has the most money, and that's a big problem with a lot of our systems. So I just thought that was a really positive step in the right direction. I'm really hoping that the US follows suit. John says, I messaged you on Instagram, but you didn't respond. Right now, I have the community here. I have 2 jobs. Aside from this, my son's on break and I'm in full-time school. So I'm trying my best to keep up with comments and messages and emails. It might take me a bit. I'm really sorry. David McDonald says, hi, Amanda. I'm in a program for mental health and alcohol addiction. I'm trying to do better, still feeling lonely and friendless, but I'm trying thanks to you. That is so touching to me. Thank you for sharing that you are getting help, that you're pursuing recovery, you're pursuing your healing because of me. That means the world to me. And I think that something people don't normalize is that when we start that healing journey, it doesn't feel like we're making a lot of progress, because for the first while, we're feeling really overwhelmed and we have a lot to work through, you know? So I feel like it took me a bit when I started back in 2018, when I really started coming out of the worst of my darkness. It took me a couple months. Like, I did the stuff that I felt really was the foundational work to moving in the right direction. That's why my Happiness Boost course is structured the way it is, because it's okay, here's the foundation and let's start getting more to the nitty gritty. And it's something that I really have seen helps with the effectiveness of therapy, because it gives people that control. But it takes a while, no matter what you're doing, to start seeing those results. Just like working out. Just like if you start working out, you're not going to see the results right away. And when we start on our mental health healing journey, or we start our addiction recovery, it's going to suck at first. I remember 6 years ago now, when I was in that first 2 weeks. So 6 years ago right now, I was in that first 2 weeks of coming off of cocaine, and it was awful. It was so freaking awful. It wasn't, oh man, yeah, like the movie show where you walk away and you decide that you're just gonna be a stronger, better person, and you're just fine. Like, once you quit, you're just fine. Once you decide to heal, you're just fine. That's not true. It's awful. Like, that first bit is really difficult. So really hold space for yourself. Have grace for yourself that you're doing the work. You're there. You're showing up. You're doing the work. Just do what you can. Hold space for those really bad days. Hold space in your heart for those really bad days. But just do what you can and know that you're moving in the right direction. And it might feel really uncomfortable for a while, but take control where you can. Edward says, healing journey is scary. You have to choose to step into the darkness to emerge into the light. Absolutely. Workout analogy, no pain, no gain, since Amanda mentioned working out. Yeah. It does. It does take, because you have to face yourself. And that's why it's painful, is because you're having to face all the things that you've avoided facing. You're having to look at all this darkness and say, okay, this is where I'm at. Now, how can I get to the other side of this? But you have to look at it and you have to go through it. You can't continue to escape it. So that's, yeah, I think that it's perfectly normal to not feel like you're having a lot of progress right up front. Being these multiverses, I'm personally working on self-love. I'm not 100% there, but compared to last year, I'm getting there. Progress is progress, and I'm proud of you for that. That's work that's not always easy to do, but it's very necessary, and I'm proud of you for that. Edward says exposure therapy, #1 tool in the box. Did I not bring my water in here? I did not. Victor says, yeah, I agree. I've always had a hard time asking for help until I met my lovely wife. She is my everything. I'm glad that you're in a happy, healthy relationship with someone that you can ask for help from, that you can talk to, you can be open with. That's super important. We are halfway through and we don't have any pledges for our outreach for the next 2 weeks. So you guys better get on that here. But I am going to start reading wins, which comes with our beautiful, beautiful Snap Cup. This is inspired by Legally Blonde 2. So in the community, in the days preceding the stream, I will post the opportunity for you guys to share your wins so I can read them here on stream and we can give each other snaps here in the community. So basically, so we can acknowledge each other with some warm fuzzies and share our love and just focus on, even when things are really awful, we can focus on the things that are going right, those little things that are going right, or the big things that are going right. So Snap Cup time, gather ye round, friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony, love, and a Snap Cup. Yes, Leo, we are here. Yes, song time, Sam. Alrighty. So Ashley says, I was finally able to come out as gay to my family. Oh, happy coming out, Ashley. I'm so happy for you. And I mean, coincidentally, I've been looking for a gay best friend again because I miss my gay best friend. So if you need a best friend, I am here, but seriously, I'm so happy for you. I love when people can be authentic to the people that they love, when they can express themselves and be who they are and share that and be open about that. So big snaps to you. I would throw you a coming out party if I was there. So big snaps. Thank you, Erin. Our first $5 of the stream. I don't want it falling off the edge, but I feel like I need to turn the camera a little bit. There we go. You can start to see my blood spatter Dexter sign over there too. Oh. David says, I could be your gay best friend. I need all the gay best friends. So you guys can apply. I'm just kidding. I will welcome you with open arms. Ribbit, sussy. Ribbit. David says, well, finally got my mood stabilizers in. Finally not manic. I'm happy that you found something that worked for you, that you are getting the help that you need, that you are on a medication that serves you. And I know sometimes it's really hard to find one that works for our particular body types. I personally can't take medication, but I'm always happy when somebody finds one that works for them. So big. Oh my gosh, look at this. I already have like I'm going to have a team of gay best friends now. I love it. I love it. Sissy says, did you do reactions? Feel like I've seen you before. Yes, I have a reaction channel here on YouTube. So I use music to talk about mental health. So this is just another bit of content here on the channel to promote that mental health message. It's very hard right now for me to grab these for some reason to promote that mental health message. So I do vlogs about my own experience, interviews, song reactions, and lots of other stuff. So yes, that's partly where you know me from. Left Under Sun says, last Saturday I was very anxious about going to see friends, but went anyway. It was my second time ever playing bowling. During the week, I'd watched some guiding videos, and after practicing a lot in the first game, I was able to make my first strike on the second game, and I was so happy. After that, I went to meet another group of friends to a June celebration. Snaps to you for your first strike. I love those wins. I love when you can accomplish something, when you can do something, and then you feel, yeah, like all that effort I put in was worth it. You could spend time with your friends, and you overcame your anxiety. It's okay, to have anxiety about doing something. I was having anxiety about getting here on the stream, but pushing through that and doing it anyway sometimes is exactly what's needed, because we're telling our anxiety who's boss. Sometimes we need to just take a break, but it's very important that at least sometimes we're pushing through that. So big snaps to you. Amy is right. Music does save lives. Tony Travis says, been a really hard week. A week ago yesterday, I hit 6 years clean off opioids. Monday, I am going to truly invest time with my godson for the first time, so I'm a little scared of the strong emotions that are going to be there from my brother Matt not being there to hold his son. Starting this past Sunday, I've been having severe flashbacks of when I found their bodies. So for context, for those of you that might be new here, Tony lost several of his brothers in arms to suicide, unfortunately, and one of them, his wife asked Tony to be their child's godson. So the brother that passed, Tony is his son's godson, or his son's godfather. So Tony says, I've had multiple nights that I've had to call 988, which is the veteran crisis line. I think 988 is actually just the suicide hotline. I think there's a different line, isn't there, guys, for veterans specifically? Because I know 988 is the suicide hotline. I could feel myself slipping into the suicide hole that took my brothers. And while I woke up this morning, along with the other mornings, that I was in a severely dark place, and I've been crying when I wake up from the flashbacks, as well as the emotions from all four having gone home too soon. I've been emotionally exhausted 24/7 recently that I don't know if you can really call that a win. Well, you hit 6 years clean off opioids. There's a win. You called the hotline when you needed it. There's a win. And you're still here with us. So there's a win. So lots of wins in here, even though it might not feel like it when you're in that dark place. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in a win for honoring your fallen brother by being his son's godfather. So there's a lot of wins, even when you're in that dark place and you're struggling. Of course, you're having flashbacks because that's the natural trauma response. It's our brain's way of trying to process something that we never should have seen, that we never should have experienced. It's not the natural way of things. So our brain is trying to process that. And can somebody, I know that there is specifically a veterans hotline, and I don't actually, I'm going to look it up right now because I don't want to rely on everybody else to have to do that. So I'm going to get that specific number for anybody that's watching this right now, because I know there is a special one. Okay. Veterans Crisis Line. Okay, hang on. Let me get the number. Okay, so it's 988 and then you press 1. Okay, got it. So you dial 988 and then you press 1. So there was a specific number, and I guess now they're merging. So good to know. There are some other veterans organizations that have specific numbers too. Or you can text 838-255 and be able to talk to someone. So good to know. Thanks for that. But yes, it's very important that you're reaching out and you're getting help. And it's important that you're getting help from someone who's qualified to help that specific situation. So it's really important that when possible, veterans can talk to veterans. Someone who maybe is struggling with an eating disorder talks to someone who has that specialty. Someone who's lost a child talks to someone who has that specialty. It really just, it ensures that they're getting the care and treatment that they need, because we all have specific needs and we can all have specific treatments dependent on our disorder, depending on our experiences, depending on the situation that might be triggering these feelings in the first place. Oh, I love it. Hello, Alex. Alex is from Romania. I love it. Okay. We got to get our pledges in, guys. Rowdy Ruth says, I went to a new therapist. He introduced me to the concept of being emotionally drunk. He also pointed out that as shocking as my parents' deaths were, I only ever have to go through that once. I really found comfort in that. That's a really interesting perspective. So snaps to you for finding your new therapist. That's a really, really interesting perspective in realizing that I'm a bit torn about that because they're right. You do only have to go through that once. So you're not going to experience that loss again. You know, you're not going to lose your parents more than once, but it can be incredibly tricky because the trauma can get triggered over and over and over and over, and it can feel like you're experiencing it again. So I agree with your therapist, and I think that that's a really good thought process to have. It's kind of like the worrying only means you have to suffer twice, but it's on the other side of it. So with worrying, it's, well, you're building yourself up to it, and you're experiencing something that's not immediately happening to you. And this is kind of on the other side of it, that you're reliving it when you don't really, have to do that. But emotionally drunk, for those of you that don't know, emotionally drunk is basically the concept of where you're so overwhelmed with your emotions that it literally impairs you, that it can literally impair your cognitive processes, just like being drunk would. So that self-control and whatnot can be compromised in the same way that being drunk would make you. So yeah, emotionally drunk is a thing. Master Rogue, you can just give me your win here in the community. I will try to see it. If you want to make sure that I see it, use the super chat or super sticker function, which goes toward our outreach fund here, which is not doing so good this week. But I will try my best to see your post either way, so I can read your snap, so I can read your win. But moving forward, if you continue to join us, which I hope you do, I post a few days prior to the streams over on the community tab and allow people the opportunity to put their wins in that thread, so that way I can read them here on stream. We've got some long ones this week. I like it. Jake Smith says, got to watch the Stanley Cup. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was thinking the new trend of the mugs, and I'm going, you watched your mug, right? Okay, obviously Stanley Cup. And NBA Finals with Kim, just enjoying that extra time together. It's been 3 years since I discovered this channel. Wow. The channel has been around 3 years. That's crazy. It has been a place to help me cope with my depression. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that, because it's just nice to have that reminder that this content does help people with their mental health. Sometimes I really have that imposter syndrome, or I really have that, am I just being repetitive and saying the same things? Is it really helpful? My shadow kicks up too. So thank you so much, and big snaps to you for being able to enjoy time with Kim and for being able to find something, and I'm very, very touched that it's me, to help you cope with your depression. Absolutely. Vestige Rider, you can message me on Instagram at MentalAmanda, or my email is in the description of the videos, and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Like I said earlier, I'm quite busy right now. I have a lot going on, so I respond to my comments and messages as much as I can, but it might take me a bit. But yes, you can absolutely private message to me. I just snapped Jake, right? I snapped Jake, yeah. Two came out at once. Okay, Edward says, I found your very specific description of what qualifies as a win quite interesting. I'm not much for subtlety, so I imagine, Edward, you better be sharing your win. I was subtly coaxing Edward to share because he was a little hesitant about sharing his win for different reasons. If he wants to share that, I will let him do so here in the comments. But he says, I found your very specific description of what qualifies as a win quite interesting. So I was definitely calling you out. Expanding my anxiety safe zone from 0.2 miles 3 years ago to the entire world today. I'm so happy you're sharing this. With my trip to Europe at the end of May is my win. I would have never thought it possible. Hashtag happiness boost course. Hashtag exposure therapy. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so happy you shared this with the community. I loved getting all of those pictures and everything, because it just really showed how far we can come. And I understand why you were hesitant about sharing this, but I think it's important for people to understand that we can get to a point where we have conquered some of those demons that we struggle with. And some of us are in our first steps, some of us are in the middle of our journey. I mean, I think we're all in the middle of our journey, but for that particular thing. So for you, you were talking about your safe zone. So your safe zone now, I think you've conquered that demon. You beat that demon down. And I know we all have our progress to make, but this is huge. This is huge progress. So I am so proud of you. I love hearing the success stories of the course. It always means so much to me that my process of how I managed to get out of that really dark place, even though I still struggle, can help other people. Because at first I was going, oh my gosh, like what if this doesn't help people? What if people just think I'm crazy? What if they don't think it's worth it? But then I get all this amazing feedback, and it just makes me feel so good to think that, wow, like my community and my course helped you be able to go from not even barely being able to leave your house. And I know that you had to engage in certain things to leave the house prior to this. Again, I will allow you to share that here because I don't know if you shared that publicly, but to being able to go to Europe and being able to enjoy that and sending me the texts of the pictures and how much fun you were having and all the opportunities you were having to confront your demons and your anxiety and stuff and continue to overcome that on the trip. Oh, that's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. It just speaks to our own power and our own strength and our own ability to overcome and to persevere. Is beautiful. And I adore you. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that the community is allowing people freedom, that the course, the videos, it's allowing people freedom. It's allowing people to heal. It's really bringing healing. And okay, I'm not going to cry. I need water. I just need a glass of water right now because now Edward has me all emotional. I just need to take a breath for that one. It's so rewarding to watch people grow here in the community, to watch you guys grow and flourish here in the community. And even those of us, when we're sharing our struggles and stuff, we're still just the process of posting and saying, I'm struggling with this. You did something positive for your mental health just by saying that, just by reaching out to us in the community, whether in Discord, whether here in the stream, whether in the comments or by email or whatever the case is. You took a step in the right direction, and that is awesome. Oh, this is a long one. Okay. So this does not have a name with it. So if this is your comment, please claim, because for some reason it doesn't display usernames properly in my comments section. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if it's my settings or what's going on. I've tried to fix it. I don't know how. But so this one does not have a username. Feel free to claim it. But this says, my biggest wins all came from January this year to current. Was a coke and meth user and got help, was sober till I broke my back, went on very heavy narcotic pain medicine as well as very high levels of anxiety meds. Found out that wife of 18 years was having an affair, and the 3-year-old I was raising as my daughter wasn't mine, so I left. I am so sorry. When I moved in with my dad and his girlfriend, I had her put my pills away and wean off them. As of April, I am off them completely, but my biggest win was forgiving him and her for what happened, and I was able in turn to forgive myself. For years, I was drugged out, and while physically there, all other aspects I was not. I don't blame her anymore. I take a lot of the responsibility. Cheating is wrong, but expecting your partner to put up with your addiction is also wrong. I'm in the best mind space I have been in over 30 years. I watch all your reactions, and I feel a connection to your story. I tried 2 times, first pills and alcohol, second was a 10-story hotel, and landed on a deck chair that not only broke my fall, but also how I broke my back. Thank you for all you do for all of us survivors. I have told full story in a few of your videos. My favorite reactor ever, oh, I'm somebody's favorite, will be joining Patreon as soon as I can. Oh my gosh. That is so unbelievably powerful and so unbelievably mature of you, and shows that you did a lot of work and healing on yourself, because I'm not even at a point where I can forgive everyone in my past. It's something that I work on. I've forgiven a lot of them. There's still some that I'm really working on, but that is beautiful because forgiving someone doesn't mean that what they did was right. It means that you're letting go of that. You're not going to let it poison you anymore. And I'm really proud of you for that. It's a hard thing to come to, but it's so liberating. It frees us from the constraints of being trapped in the past. So I'm very proud of you for that. I'm proud of you for getting off the pills. I know that's hard too. Pills was one of my vices for a long time too. Just sort of louder snaps than that. And I'm really glad that you have found things that are helping you, that you realize, you know, something doesn't have to be right, but I still have my part in it too. There's just so much here that I think people can learn from. So thank you for sharing this with the community so people can see the power of forgiveness, so they can see the possibility, you know, that we can forgive people that have done unbelievably horrible things. That's horrible. That's terrible that she's letting you raise a child that wasn't yours, that she cheated on you. You're right. That's not okay. But being able to rise above that and forgive them and move on with your life and find happiness, you deserve that. You deserve to find the happiness. And I'm very, very happy for you. Thank you so much, Drunk Man Gaming. We are $10. We only have 15 minutes left and we're only $10 to our goal. Ah! I just wrote 10. I was saying 10 and wrote 10, even though it was 5. I think y'all just want me to stay longer. If you want me to stay longer, we got to get closer. Mark says, I'm having a really hard time forgiving someone lately. Well, feel free to share more about that, and we'll see if we can give some perspective. Like I said, I totally understand. There are still some people that I struggle to forgive, and I want to, and I'm working on it, but sometimes it's a process and it doesn't happen all at once. And it sounds like even this user, it wasn't something that happened all at once, you know, but that was something that they really worked toward. And it is work. We have to work toward it. And it doesn't take that other person apologizing to us, because that's on them. And people's outsides will reflect their insides. So they might not be in a place to be able to forgive because they're feeling so much pain and suffer. I'm sorry, that they're going to apologize because they're feeling so much pain inside that they're just not thinking of other people. And that doesn't excuse it, but we don't need their apology to find forgiveness. Jason, whoever. Love it. Jason says, good morning or good evening, ma'am. Ma'am. I hope you're well. I was a serious alcoholic, drinking half a gallon of vodka a day for about 10 years. I also suffered from major depressive disorder, PTSD, panic disorder, anxiety, and agoraphobia. April 19th, 2010 was the last day I took a drink. My DTs were so bad that I had to be put in a medically induced coma for 15 days in a level 1 trauma center ICU. When I finally woke up, I was so grateful to be alive that I vowed never to drink again. Also decided as long as I was sober, I was going to eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. People who knew me when I was drinking would be shocked to find out that it was gummy bears and cookies that killed me instead of vodka, if and when that happens. I still see a therapist once a week and a psychiatrist once a month. I have for years. Don't give up. It can't suck forever. I will say that trading one vice for another might not be definitely is not the best of solutions. However, the point here, the win here, is getting off the alcohol. So that's an excellent step in the right direction of letting go of that vice and getting through that, being able to quit drinking. So that is amazing. And you're right, it can't suck forever unless we just allow it to suck forever. But as long as we're making effort, as long as we're putting deposits in our bank, in our happiness bank, in our mental health bank, then it's not going to suck forever. It might suck for a while. It might suck for a long time. It might suck and then not suck and then suck again, but it can't suck forever. There's always going to be something positive that happens. But wow, to go from all of those things and being in a coma, medically induced coma, for things being so bad, and then being able to still find sobriety, it just goes to show that no matter how far down we fall, it's never too late to start getting help and to start healing. Big snaps for that. And this is another user that doesn't have a name, but feel free to claim your comment. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Ryan. He signed it at the end. I see. Ryan says, don't let someone who did you wrong make you think there's something wrong with you. Don't devalue yourself because they didn't value you. Know your worth even if they don't. The way people treat you is a reflection of their character, not yours. This goes out to all of you, Ryan. Ryan, I feel like you jumped into the future and you saw that comment I just read a minute ago about the infidelity and stuff. And then you made sure that this would be the last thing I pulled out to follow up with that. I don't know what wizardry you got going on, Ryan, but kudos to you, because I think that that's an excellent reminder that other people's actions do not define our worth. And just because someone else doesn't find us lovable, or quite a few people don't find us lovable, that doesn't mean we're not lovable. It doesn't mean we're not worthy. It doesn't mean that there's nobody out there that will love us. It just means those people didn't see it. Those people didn't connect with us. They didn't see our value, but that doesn't make us invaluable. They didn't see the reasons to love us, but that doesn't make us unlovable. So I think this is excellent advice, because you have to know your worth, and you have to understand that it doesn't matter who likes you or doesn't like you. It doesn't change that. Once you're secure in yourself, then other people's opinions don't matter. And I've had to really, I've had to really take that advice myself and listen to that. I remind myself of that before I go through comments and stuff, because I know whenever I open YouTube or Instagram or anything, there are gonna be haters. There are gonna be people that just don't like us and don't resonate with us. And that's okay. They don't have to. They don't have to like us. There's always gonna be people that don't like you. And that is A-okay. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. And if somebody is acting in a toxic way, if they are cheating or if they are being abusive, you have the right to walk away from that. Please walk away from that. But it does not mean something is wrong with you. You didn't deserve the abuse. You didn't deserve to be cheated on. That is on them. That is their emotional deficiency. You did miss the song T. Montgomery. Maybe we get some pledges. I will sing the Snap Cup song a second time. So that was our last win. That was our last snap. We had some good snaps. We had some good wins today. So we have about 10 minutes here left in the community. Oh man, I thought I had a little bit Magic Mind left in there. Spencer says, oh, it just moved. I was reading and it moved. Spencer says, what a shitty week for me. We all have them. We all have crappy weeks. I got high as hell, not proud of it. Well, you're here now, and it's actually kind of a good thing when we do things like that. We're not proud of it, because it helps us look into how can we act differently next time. Because what you did, and what we have done is done. But then we can say, okay, you know what? That wasn't a good idea. I don't like that I did that. So what can I do to ensure that that doesn't happen again? So if you're doing something, usually when you're doing things like this, it's in response to something that has happened. So we have to figure out, okay, what other skills can we learn? Can we work upon? Can we incorporate to address these feelings we're having? So it's an excellent opportunity to figure out what can I do better? And see, Spencer says, no more weed for me. Well, big snaps for that. And I believe in you. I believe you when you say that, because once you get that to that point, you're going, yeah, I'm not proud of myself. You can start doing the work to get away from that and figure out what other skills you can strengthen to be able to help yourself when you're in that dark place. Tony says, yes, I was depressed as hell 2 hours ago about the boys, and this group has been a great help. I'm glad that it could help. Phoebe's Multiverse says, the true person that we should love always, no matter how hard it is ourselves. Sometimes the world will knock us down, but we have to get back up. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Yeah, I'm a 90s kid. You can tell. But yeah, you're very, very right. David says, plus we can better help others only when we help ourselves first. I have to tell people this all the time, because people will drive themselves into the ground, just run themselves into the ground trying to be a good parent, a good partner, a good employee, but they're so empty that they can't be any of those things. So if you're trying to run yourself ragged to be a good parent, you're probably not going to be the best parent you could be, because you drain yourself. Sometimes being a good parent means showing your child, or being a good friend means showing your friend what it means to take time for yourself, to care for yourself, to prioritize yourself. Because if you burn yourself out, you're teaching your child that that's what they should do, is burn themselves out for other people. And we should be taking care of ourselves. And there are ways, I've learned this as a parent, there are ways to incorporate self-care into your parenting or into your friendship or into your relationship. To still quit your day job. Tony says karaoke night, Amanda. We should have a karaoke call one day. Spencer says old ass song. Oh, hell no, you didn't. Hell no, you didn't. No. You take your curse words out of here, good sir. Old. No, Tony, oldies are awesome. What is wrong with you all? David's not wrong. David says karaoke night with Amanda would be an all-night NSYNC fest. You're not wrong. There might be some Backstreet Boys in there. Oh, that felt good. RX Doc says, Spencer, pretty sure that song came out a couple of years after I joined the Navy. Spencer says Third Eye Blind. Where did Third Eye Blind come from? Was somebody making Third Eye Blind comments? Celtic Knights has been dealing with some PTSD flashbacks, making me want to drink again. The unfortunate thing, and I know that there's several people in here that can attest to this, the unfortunate thing is if we're turning to drinking or drugs or whatever to deal with the flashbacks, we're only prolonging the lifespan of the flashbacks because we're suppressing them, we're further suppressing them with the chemicals, which just means that they're going to continue trying to get our attention because flashbacks are our brain's way of processing trauma. As upsetting as they are, I know I've been in spirals where I've had flashbacks to traumatic events for long periods of time. The longer we avoid them, the longer they will continue going. So the best course of action is to talk to a professional that specializes in trauma or to work through that trauma in whatever way you feel is most conducive to you. But it's best with a professional because a lot of times it can be very difficult for us to do that on our own. Of course, there are certain self-help things that can be very beneficial. Like I said, my course is meant to work to increase the effectiveness of therapy, but it can be really difficult to do it on your own completely. And when it comes to trauma, when it comes to PTSD, when it comes to flashbacks and those sorts of things, talking to someone who can help you truly start processing that. I had to go to a therapist and do exposure therapy in the office with her and literally trigger the flashbacks to be able to start working through them. And then I don't have those particular flashbacks anymore. It's uncomfortable, it's brutal, but avoiding them just makes them last longer, and none of us want that. So I understand the drive to try to avoid it, but avoiding it doesn't make it go away at all. Seriously, I'm so losing my voice for you guys, and I have no idea what's going on. Oh God, Edward says my nightmare NSYNC covering the Snap Cup song. One day I'm going to be rich enough to make that happen. I'm losing my voice for y'all. We didn't get any pledges for the mental health outreach this week. I'm giving my blood, sweat, and voice. What is going on? Spencer, you bite your tongue. I mean, no, yes, no. They didn't, and then they did, and now they do, and they'll always exist in my heart. Spencer, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Spencer asked if NSYNC still exists. Like, Spencer, now you have to make a pledge now. You owe me. You owe me for the trauma that you just caused me, the mental anguish that you just caused me. I can't hair flip right now, so that's the best I can do. Oh gosh, I really need water. Oh, my email was going wonky. I thought I was trying to get a pledge, an email pledge. Celtic Knights, says T. Montgomery. I have been a year sober, as an alcoholic. Drinking isn't something I can do safely. I wish I could honestly drink safely. Was snapped to you for your year in sobriety. I totally can resonate with that, because it's very difficult for me to regulate once I start drinking, and not regulate that night. I don't need to get trashed. But if I drink one night, then I can justify it the next night and the night after and the night after. And I finally am starting to kind of get to a point. I haven't been drinking lately. I had, I think, a glass in the last several months. But I totally respect that mindset of, it can be hard. Like, that's one of the problems with alcoholism, is it can be very hard to socially drink or safely drink for someone who has alcoholic tendencies. And alcoholism doesn't mean that you're always getting wasted or that you always have to drink a large amount. It just means that it's hard for you to be able to stop. It's hard for you to be able to regulate. Thank you, David. David, thank you, Spencer, for that reaction from her. That was epic. So you guys are just trying to trigger trauma in me to get a reaction now? Is that what this is? Don't think, no, oh no, Spencer. Don't think that David's pledge gets you off the hook of having to pledge, good sir. Tony says, yes, that reaction from Amanda was priceless. Now I feel like y'all don't get any ideas here. Don't get any ideas, because I will throw down. I will die for my boys here. Don't even try and creep up in my NSYNC world. Steven says, did I miss Chumbawamba? You did miss Chumbawamba. You missed me with my half-lost voice trying to sing Chumbawamba. Tony, no. Just no. Now I don't know how to go on. I can't go on with all of this pressure and all of this hatred for my loves. Okay. Glad I got that out of my system. David says, yeah, Amanda needs tip money to put another dungeon in. Yeah, I will get company soon. See you, Spencer. Yep, see? But who says I'm going to put another one in? I can just squeeze y'all in the same dungeon and save money. You know, Spencer, that one, talent-wise, no. But personality-wise, I feel like Nick is the Justin of the Backstreet Boys, because Nick had some problems with physical abuse and stuff. He was beaten up on Paris Hilton allegedly back in the day. Looks-wise, Justin wins. Talent-wise, Justin wins. But Nick Carter, it seems, has rehabilitated himself, and he's not a narcissistic asshole from what I see. So, you know, I will defend Paris Hilton. I will really defend Paris Hilton. She's done a lot of work for these homes. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they have homes that they'll send children to. She was a victim of that. She was a victim of sexual assault. So she also supports organizations like RAIN, and she'll speak out against sexual assault and rape. But these homes, they're supposed to be rehabilitation for troubled youth, right? But these people literally come, kidnap children in the middle of the night with the consent of their parents without the kids knowing, and take them to a place where they undergo emotional, physical, and often sexual abuse. And Paris Hilton helped pass legislation to ban or to shut down several of these places, ban them in several other areas. So as much as she plays this ditzy person, she does a lot of good. There was actually an article I read where she DJs, and she had a show going, and there was a World War II veteran that was at her show. And she brought him up to the VIP and gave him all sorts of special attention stuff and thanked him for his service. So I know it's easy to look at some of these people and think that they're crazy or that she's vapid or whatever the case is, but we have to look at the full picture and not just what the media portrays. Thank you so much for the donation, Fiendies. My puppy, which I don't know if you can see, she's behind me here, but I will get up. Look at this. That is my Paris. And she was partially named after Paris Hilton. So she's named partially after the country, partially after Paris Hilton, and partially after Orlando Bloom's character in Troy, because I was going through an Orlando Bloom obsession phase when I adopted her at 19. So yeah, I've admired Paris Hilton for a long time, and I will defend her on that one. Oh, somebody's talking about Korn tickets. I really want to go see Korn. I saw Jonathan Davis perform at the Chester tribute show. I think I saw Korn at some big music festival I went to like 14 years ago that I don't think I was under the influence, but I just really don't remember it. But I think I saw them perform briefly. If I don't have good seats to a concert, I just don't want to go anymore because I don't remember them. I don't enjoy that. So I think that's what it was. I was just too far back, so I wasn't really enjoying it. But I'd really like to go to a Korn concert. That's on my list. Sam says, Amanda, did you see Linkin Park's tribute to Chester at the Hollywood Bowl? I was actually there. That's what I was talking about. Jonathan Davis performed there. I actually went to that concert. Did I say country again? I did not say country, David. I just said Paris. I said I named Paris Hilton. Did I say country again? Oh my God. Oh my God. I did it again. Oops, I did it again. David is no. So this became an ongoing joke because a long time ago. What? Aaron just yelled something at me and I'm not sure what. Oh, he said he's getting the Britney Spears "Oops, I Did It Again" song stuck in my head. Oh my gosh. So Dave and I had this ongoing joke. And when I said Paris, I thought of that joke in my head because I did slip up one time and say the country Paris. Obviously, Paris is a city. I've been there. Je peux parler français. Je parle stupide. Parole. I can speak French. I'm not stupid, I promise. But I had that in my head when I was talking about the dog. And then just subconsciously said it. So I'm glad you all got a good laugh out of me today. I am perfectly aware that Paris is a city. Fiendy said, I miss my dogs. They're back in Georgia with my brothers as I just recently, luckily, I should be getting one of the puppies where I am now here in September when my mom brings one down. Paris passed away back in 2019, I believe. Yeah, it was before the pandemic. She passed away, I think, in 2019. So I had 3 dogs that I had 17, 15, and 9 years respectively. I had her 15 years. She ended up getting doggy dementia. She went blind. So I had to put her to sleep, which was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. My other one was my mom's dog, and it was the last living part of my mom, and she passed away. I mean, we had her 17 years, and I don't know how old she was when we got her, but she passed away. She got a breathing problem, and she ended up passing away. And then the one I had for 9 years ended up getting attacked by another dog, and he unfortunately passed away as well. Spencer says, I absolutely hated the song New Divide, and I love Linkin Park. I love New Divide, but I have some really, well, there's several Linkin Park songs that I just kind of have trauma connections to, that I correlate them to certain situations and stuff. So I only listen to them when I'm trying to process thoughts or feelings about those situations. And that one specifically, I had a pretty uncomfortable correlation with, which it's one of those things I don't want to talk about, not because I don't want to share with you, but because it has to do with some things involving my son. And just, I know he sometimes watches the channel, and I don't want him finding out about certain things without me being able to talk to him. So let's just say that, yeah, I really have a hard time with the song New Divide. I love Breaking the Habit too, because that's the song that saved my life. Spencer says, a song I've been listening to lately is Sometimes You're the Hammer, Sometimes You're the Nail. It relates to how I've been feeling lately. It's a great song. I heard Sometimes You're the Bug, Sometimes You're the Windshield. But yeah, pretty much the same concept. I can see how that would be relatable. Solid says, I was just watching your video covering my December. I saw that you were live. I clicked it. What's up? Hello. And apparently we're just all having a Linkin Park conversation while you were watching this. So it's like Linkin Parkception. T. Montgomery says, loving Citizen Soldier at the moment. Has it been? I feel like it's been a hot minute since I did a Citizen Soldier reaction. I think I need to circle back around to Citizen Soldier. I'm trying to circle back around to some of the artists that I've touched in the past. Someone says, that's crazy, right? It's totally kismet. RX Doc says, Minutes to Midnight is my favorite album, but I love them all. Minutes to Midnight came out at a really big turning point because it came out shortly before my mom passed. And I feel like if Leave Out All the Rest had not come into my life, I don't think I would have got through my mom's death, because I literally, when I found out she passed away and I ended up down the ER and then they transferred me to the psych ward when my mom died, my voice is cracking. I was really ignored. I was really ostracized and abandoned by the professionals. I'm not crying. My voice is cracking, just FYI, by the professionals. And I remember just sitting there and kind of rocking back and forth and singing Leave Out All the Rest to myself over and over and over to get through that. So that is my memory of that. Maybe I should do a reaction to that on my mom's birthday or something. I should have done it on the anniversary for passing, but Aaron says it's okay to cry, man. Don't patronize me right now. I know it is, but my voice is just all messed up. I don't know what is going on. So we ended up getting $32 of our $250 gold. Not our best stream, not our best outreach, but it's still going to be able to help in some way. I'll have to be a little bit more creative, but it's going to help in some way. But as I said, I'll make sure to post the picture for the doggy in the community. So if you're wanting to see what our pledges do, make sure to watch the community page, and I'll be posting that over there as soon as I get the picture. So I was very, very excited that we could do that we could help the dog, help the person, boost mental health all around. Hello, Colin, and you're very welcome. Spencer says, time to go play a fire. I want to play a fire. Is that what we're doing now? I love it. Okay, I'm going to go pray that I don't lose my voice. Although if I lose my voice right before Bryson comes back, just kidding. I love you guys. If you're watching this later and you want to make a pledge toward the outreach, my Venmo and my PayPal are in the description of the videos. Just please make a note that you are donating as part of the pledge with today's date, so I can kind of track. But thank you guys so much for being here. I know it was a little different since it was on a Saturday, not a Sunday, but I'm glad so many people were able to join us. David made me look like an idiot again. Just because I was thinking of the joke and ended up saying the same thing and making a doofus of myself. But you know what? it makes everybody laugh. So Master Rogue says, I don't know, I'd buy an audiobook with your voice. Well, my course has a bunch of videos, so I guess that's kind of the same, right? I hope you guys have a good Father's Day, whatever that means to you, whether that means completely avoiding the day, honoring your dad if he is not here with us anymore, or being with your dad, spending time with your dad, spending time with your kids, whatever the case is. I hope that you can get through the day. If you are struggling and you just need to share some memories of your dad, you need to be talked to, my inbox is always open. I try to respond as quickly as I can. Oh my gosh, Donald, thank you. Donald says, when you can, do thank you. Thank you by who? Because I know quite a few songs named Thank You. So before I get off here, Donald, let me know what band you're talking about so I can put that somewhere on my list. So just gave it a good time. I will wait for Donald to respond before I jump out. But thank you so much. I love it when the last minute ones come in and then I'm just stuck here for a while because I'm like, oh gosh. Edward says we need to sell the David Gaps audiobook. David, you're supposed to be sending me the reading of The Bold and the Beautiful. So over on Patreon, when David came to visit me, he ended up reading an excerpt from my Bold and the Beautiful novel in his husky voice, in his sexy husky voice. And I've been trying to convince him to get another Bold and the Beautiful book and read more. Hello, Penniless. Oh, David says I'm working on the next chapter. We'll work harder. It should be easier from the dungeon. Donald, are you still in here? I'm actually missing one B&B book. So there's several on Kindle, but I don't want an ebook. I want an actual book. And there's one that I'm missing and I'm thinking about putting it on my wish list, but I stopped posting my wish list. I stopped sharing it because it just felt weird to me. Oh, Donald says could probably be in a song that was just for me. Because you said when you can do thank you. So I was confused. Well, thank you very much for the pledge. Alrighty. Anybody else want to drop in a last minute nudge nudge here? Oh. Edward says Dexter on Netflix in 3 days is my ancillary win. Love it. You're going to love it so much. We just, Aaron had never watched it, so I rewatched it just so I could watch it through with Aaron. Just don't watch New Blood. Don't watch that cinematic abortion. It's awful. Like they just should have, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil it, but yes. Hello, Roger. Hello, Heike. Look, we have people jumping in last minute. Now I feel bad having to go here a minute. Okay, I will stay for a second just so I'm not jumping off last minute. I just have some doggy clients I need to go drop in on and feed, and some kitty clients that I need to feed and love on. So I have to make sure that they're all taken care of. Heike says, not sure about this. So this is just a stream where we check in with each other. We share our wins, we share our struggles. We are actually winding down. I've been here for about an hour and 15 minutes. Usually we do it every other Sunday, but being it Father's Day, I decided to move it to Saturday. But we just check in. We just talk about our mental health. If you want updates, make sure to click the bell so you know when I go live. I also post in the community a couple of days before I do a stream, just so people have the opportunity to share their wins, and then I share them here on the stream. I just realized this is probably making super inappropriate sounds. I promise this is a squeaky thing. It's not me. Tony says 1 second turns into 10 minutes. Oh, darling. I grew up in the Midwest where you will say goodbye 16 times before actually leaving. My dad was from upstate New York, and I swear to God, there were times where he would say goodbye like a dozen times over the course of 2 hours. And finally, Daddy, I'm hungry. Please take me to get dinner. I want to go home. Vesty Drider, you can DM me on Instagram at MentalAmanda, or my email is in my video descriptions. Spencer says that's Iowa too. Yes. Alrighty. I'm going now. I love you guys. Are you willing to react to non-English songs? I know a really pretty one, but I don't know if it's about the struggle. I've done a couple. I did a couple French ones. Actually, I think I only did one French one, and I was thinking about doing another French one, but I can understand French, so yes. I also did a couple German ones, right? Because I did Rammstein. So yes, as long as it has some kind of subtitles or something so I can understand, as long as it's available with subtitles, sometimes yes, I do. So seriously, I'm gonna go. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Mwah. Thank you, Roger. I hope you do too.